Hi there. Today I have a Q&A episode for you all. I'm going to answer a question that I recently received on Instagram. And if you're interested in submitting a question for me to answer in a future episode, go ahead and follow me on Instagram where I'll solicit questions monthly. My Instagram handle is @Sleep and Wellness Coach. Hi, I'm Allison Edgety, a pediatric sleep and wellness coach and a mom of two. I love to help parents find solutions. This is How Long Till Bedtime. Today's question comes from an expecting mom. She said, I'm trying to decide if I should introduce a pacifier or not. I'm concerned it could negatively affect nursing, and I'm worried about needing to break up with it down the road. What are your thoughts on the pacifier? This is a great question, and her concerns are actually very, very common amongst new moms. I personally am generally supportive of introducing a pacifier, but let's chat through it a little bit. I'll start by sharing 3 potential benefits of introducing the pacifier. First, the American Academy of Pediatrics Safe Sleep Recommendations suggest that offering a pacifier at nap time and bedtime could help reduce the incidence of SIDS, even if the pacifier falls out of the infant's mouth while they're sleeping. And while it's not totally clear why this may reduce the risk of SIDS, I fall into the camp that if there's any chance of it reducing the risk of SIDS, I'm all for it. So that's a benefit. Second, many babies find non-nutritive sucking very soothing during that first year. This can mean that a pacifier could really help with soothing, particularly if you have a fussy or colicky baby or just a baby who isn't as naturally inclined to sleep and they're really agitated when you're trying to help them sleep. The pacifier can really help there. Both of my girls had a very strong desire to suck as soon as they were born. In fact, the nurses even commented on it while we were still in the hospital during that first 24 to 48 hours. And I personally don't think I could have survived those early months without a pacifier. But that's not the case for every baby because every baby is going to have a varying level of desire for non-nutritive sucking as it relates to soothing. Third, if the choice is between a pacifier or a thumb or a finger, the benefit of the pacifier is that it can be easier to break up with it down the road because you can just make it disappear. And we can't do that with the thumb or the finger. So when you have a child who has that strong desire for non-nutritive sucking as it relates to soothing, if we don't offer a pacifier, it's going to increase the chance that they will suck their thumb or fingers, which isn't a terrible thing. It's just something to think about. The pacifier can also be the cleaner, less germy option when we're thinking about the difference between a pacifier versus the fingers or the thumb, because you can limit its use and you can disinfect it. Now I want to address the 2 biggest potential downsides that I see when it comes to introducing a pacifier. First, a pacifier can obviously become a sleep crutch, and sometimes parents end up playing what I like to call the pacifier pop game. They could feel like they're playing it all night. They could feel like they're having to pop that pacifier throughout the nap periods, and it could be a very frustrating game to play during those early months. But I will note that even the pacifier pop game can be addressed with a little bit of sleep training anytime after 4 months. And usually between 5 and 7 months, babies are able to learn how to reach for that pacifier, pick it up, and pop it in their mouth. Granted, that's a multi-step process. First, they have to learn to see it and grab it. Then they have to not only learn to get it to their mouth, but how to maneuver it to get it in the right way. But it's a game changer in the pacifier department when they have that capability. The other potential downside is that need to break up with the pacifier. And I will tell you from personal experience that the anticipation of this breakup is typically much worse than the reality. There are a variety of times when you could do it, and there's no perfect time to do it. So You don't have to commit to using the pacifier for years if you end up needing it in the early months. But I have a detailed episode on my advice for breaking up with the pacifier that you can listen to. It's episode 20, and I will also link to it in the show notes. Now, when it comes to that concern about nursing and the pacifier and potential nipple confusion, this is something that many moms are warned about. And while I want to note that I'm certainly not a lactation expert, the research does not support the pacifiers actually result in nipple confusion. Using a pacifier for that non-nutritive soothing is not the same as, say, bottle feeding when you're trying to establish a breastfeeding relationship. That is a little bit more of a complicated topic, and it's not what I'm covering today. But generally speaking, I have not found with the families that I work with that the pacifier caused any issues as it related to nursing. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on introducing the pacifier. I don't think that there's one right answer there. These are just some things to think about when you're trying to decide what you want to do. Before I wrap up, I do want to note that some babies are not going to have any interest in the pacifier. If you plan to offer the pacifier and your baby isn't interested in the one you offer, you can absolutely try a different pacifier that has a different shape to it. But I have definitely worked with plenty of families who simply have a baby with zero interest in the pacifier. And that is okay. So in the show notes, I will link to some of the pacifiers that many of the babies I work with like, so you could think about trying a few of these. But I also don't want parents to stress out if their baby isn't interested in the pacifier. I don't want you to feel like you need to force the issue, and just consider it a sign that the pacifier was not part of your baby's plan, and now you won't even have to worry about the breakup. I hope that you found this Q&A helpful. If you're expecting or have a baby who's 12 weeks or younger, I encourage you to listen to my free class on 5 common mistakes that can undermine your newborn's sleep. I'll link to it in the show notes, but you can also sign up through sleepandwellnesscoach.com under the Work With Me page. I hope you'll join me again next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to How Long Till Bedtime. To learn how we can work together to improve your child's sleep, please visit sleepandwellnesscoach.com.